do something good for somebody, and release those happy hormones as you do it, the oxytocin, and just enjoy the blessings of being good to somebody else. It's more blessed to give than to receive. And another challenge was to, as well as being good to other people, be good to yourself. Treat yourself. Do something that's going to be positive to you, and stop thinking negative thoughts. So not being too critical on yourself. Nobody's perfect. That includes each and every one of us. So be positive in the way, in your attitude towards yourselves. So anybody got any feedback from this week's challenge? Please unmute yourself if you're going to tell us about your experiences over the week. And even if it wasn't one of those two, it could well be that you're still continuing with the other challenges we've had. Drinking lots of water, we've had no snacking, no reduction in, those who could do it, no sugar, but reduction in sugar it was for me. Can anyone else on the admin team help me out with reminding others of the challenges we've had so far?
Or maybe Sharon, if someone just want to, or maybe so.
You're cutting out, Jonathan. Jonathan?
I am getting a feedback or time delay, Sharon. So let me just sort that.
Okay. Oops, someone's cutting their hedge in my gut. I'll just relocate.
I was just saying, Sharon, or maybe someone just want to share their experience since they've been joining us on this platform, you know, any life changes they may have made or anything like that.
Yep, that's sure.
How the show has been benefiting them?
Has it blessed anybody, or has anything been a challenge to you? And have you been able to share any of the things that you've learned with people, with your family, with your friends, with your neighbors? Don't be shy.
If you do want to speak, just unmute yourself or raise your hand in the chat.
I would just like to give my experience. It's not necessarily the challenge,
who is?
but I just want to. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
yes,
I'm just asking. Who,
can you hear me?
Wilford.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm someone. Give up
The
the
signal's
sugar.
not very
Yes,
good.
I have a sweet tooth. My cake, and if I'm drinking my barley cup, it has to be 2 spoons of sugar, a teaspoon. And but I always wanted to cut off the sugar. And at Lewisham, I'm from Lewisham Church, so we always have men's retreat to the Lake District every year. So we used the first 2 years, we went in caravan. So all of us meet in one caravan for the breakfast. So that was a bit of challenge. A lot of us, nearly 30 of us in one caravan. So the guys them cook a pot of oats porridge, and and they sweeten it, and that was the first year. So the second year, I didn't know that no sugar was in it. So I got my bowl of sugar, of porridge, and when I tasted it, it was fresh. So I said, "Oh, it's no sugar." Them say, "Well, you have to go and get your sugar." So, you know, I would have to pass so much people to, you know, to get the sugar. I said, you know what, I'm going to drink it same way. So I had the sugar, I mean, the porridge without any sugar. And I said, wow, but you can drink without sugar. So, you know, I came home and I said, no more sugar. And just like that, you know, I had my barley cup, no sugar. I had my porridge, and I always like my cornmeal porridge, and you know, I grind up, you know, some of the nuts in it, and I don't use any. Well, I'm a more or less near a vegan, so I don't use it. No milk. I use the milk from the seeds. Yeah. So I just put some what you call it, raisin, you know, raisins and dates, cut up few of that in it, sprinkle a little sugar, I mean a little salt, and mix it, and and from then no sugar, you know. So I'm just telling you how I got over the intakes of sugar. It wasn't just cut down, it was totally cut down.
I think we lost him there, Sharon.
Clean it
We
and say,
seem
you
to
know what,
be,
some of you might not do just, even if
yeah.
you can't do it as drastic. Yeah, that's my intake anyhow. Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for sharing, Wilfred. We've got, well, we can all learn from your testimony. So that was fantastic. And there's so many other ways we can have the natural sugars, as you said, through the dates, through the raisins. I'm just sat here in my garden. I don't know if you can see. Okay, I'm
Yeah, beautiful.
surrounded by blackberries. Okay, they're not the sweetest. They're not the sweetest of fruits, but when you get a good one, because it's like a game of roulette almost, you never know. You just pop it in your mouth and you pray and hope for the sweet one to come. Well, that's my experience. I know some people do like the tart fruits, but either way, it's still rich. They're full of nourishment, so many antioxidants, so good for the blood. We've got so much around to thank God for, the blessings that He has around us, that we can just get such good health from. So thank you for sharing that, Wilfred. Is there anybody else? One more person?
Hi, I'm Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Yeah,
Hi, Denise.
I'll just share. I've for about 5 or 6 weeks, I've been volunteering twice a week. Food parcels for the elderly from our communities and those who are shielding and vulnerable. And last week I delivered a food parcel to a lady, an elderly lady, and she was just saying, you know, I haven't been out since March. I haven't been able to go out from March. And I just felt led to leave my telephone number with her and say, right, if there's anything else I can do to help, let me know. And she contacted me the day after and asked me, the only thing that she wanted to do was to go for a walk down her road, which is to get to the end of her road, it would be about 300 yards in one direction. And I said, that's fine. I'm quite happy. I'll take you out for a walk. What I didn't know is that this lady, as well as being quite elderly, suffers from multiple sclerosis. So walking is actually quite a challenge with crutches, with elbow crutches. And so I took her for a walk, and it took maybe an hour, 15 minutes for her to walk to the end of her road and back. But, you know, you should have seen the smile on that lady's face, and how grateful she was that I came and gave her that time. But, you know, I got more out of that than I think she did, because it was just so great to see that, you know, just to give a little bit of time to someone who hadn't been out from March, and so that she could walk. And it was a big achievement for her to keep on being mobile with her health conditions. So yeah, you know, I felt really good, and you know, remembered the challenge. So yeah, that's what I'd just like to share.
Thank you so much for that, Denise. I know sometimes we might feel a bit shy to say something that we've done that's positive to help somebody else. It's not that we're using this as an opportunity to to brag, but it's an opportunity to testify and share the blessings that we get when we help others. And clearly, without a doubt, they are also benefited. So we have space for one more testimony of sharing benevolence with others. No? Okay. Well, without much more ado, I'm going to invite Edgar to come in and share with us the challenge for the week coming. So hopefully you're available to unmute, Edgar. And yep.
Good afternoon, everybody, and those that are hosting. I'm going to do the challenge this week.
Good afternoon, Edgar.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm going to do the challenge, and basically I want everybody to get the benefits of the sunshine, and that is actually the challenge. I'm just going to mention a couple of things. I'm not going to mention much because I don't want to steal the presenter's joy, because he's going to be bringing something very soon. But I'm just going to mention 3 or 4. Sorry?
You've got 15 minutes, Edgar.
No. It won't take 15 minutes. I'm just going to mention 4 points or 5 points that the sunshine benefits. And you might know it, you might not know it. But the 4 points that I mentioned, I believe they're quite important. And it does have an impact on your health. And I believe it's worth considering. And I also believe it's worth doing the challenge. So I'm going to give it to you right now. So for example, the sunshine can help to lower your blood pressure. Now, maybe you have high blood pressure or you don't have high blood pressure, but the sunshine can help your blood pressure. Also, the sunshine can help your blood sugars. If you have high blood sugar, you might be diabetic or pre-diabetic, so you're close. But the sunshine can help your blood sugars to reduce it, as well as your blood pressure. The sunshine also improves your mood and your well-being. I'm sure Jonathan can testify to that.
Definitely.
It also increases, it can reduce your cholesterol. So if you've got issues with cholesterol, the sunshine can actually help to reduce your cholesterol. Those that eat meat sometimes can have problems with high cholesterol. But one thing that it does increase is your white blood cells. So if you have issues with, you want to increase your immunity, your ability to fight off colds and flus and things like that, it increases your blood cells. And then the last thing is sunshine gives you plenty of vitamin D. And at the moment, we're blessed at the moment where the sun is out. So I'm saying this is the challenge, to get outside and get 20 to 30 minutes of sun exposure a day, every day, all this week. And that might be a challenge for some people. Time, I don't have time to do it, but I'm saying make time, 20 to 30 minutes every day, to try and increase your vitamin D and also get some of the benefits which I've just mentioned, plus more, because there's other benefits as well. And that's the challenge. Also, one more thing, the sun helps to kill bacteria. So why not throw open the window, pull back the curtains, let the sun come in, and it will help your home environment, as well as feeling better, as well as if you've got aches and pains, it can help with that. But it will help your blood pressure, it can help your blood sugar, it can help your mood. So that's the challenge for this week. And I'm going to hand you back to Jonathan and Sharon to carry on.
Does that mean, Edgar, you're promising sunshine all week?
I can't promise anything. I can promise you sunshine for today.
is there any benefit to go outside, even though the sun don't seems as though it's shining?
Oh yeah. Even if the sun is not shining, the sun is still shining. So
can you talk a bit more about that, please?
Well, the rays come through the clouds, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to give you the technical side of that. All I'm saying is you need to get outside, get the sunshine, and it's going to benefit you. As the sun hits your skin, it's going to create,
Sorry, to finish your point.
As the sun hits your skin, it's going to help to give you better health. So I'm just saying, whether it's sunny, whether it's not sunny, you still need to get out there. And especially if it is sunny, try and expose your arms and your legs, your neck. Expose yourself to the sun, because that's where you're really going to get a good benefit.
I think you covered the point, Edgar. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Edgar. You know, if we could say that there was a pill that you could take, one pill that you could take that covers your blood pressure, what did you say? Your sugar levels, your mood, your vitamin D.
Yeah.
And did you say one other thing? You said it
kills bacteria, so it's good for
bacteria.
It's good for your immune system. It's good for your
all of that in one pill, and yet we have it the sun shines every day, but yeah, it's there. So some of you may be in a country where you get more sunshine than others. You are blessed. Some of you who have less, you're still blessed, but some have extra. Okay, right. So do we have Alvin on the platform now?
Can I just say one thing quickly?
Oh, go on then. As soon as you're my husband.
The only thing is, don't overdo it. Yeah. So we still need to have temperance. And if you overexpose yourself to sun, then you can get burned. So just be temperate.
And that's what we're about. True Temperance International, moderation in what is good for you and abstinence from what is not good for you. Okay, so bear that in mind in everything that we share with you, whether it's the water, the exercise, the nutrition, the sunshine, the rest, moderation in all that's good. Okay, so do we have Alvin on the platform now? Brother Alvin.
We just have to bear a little bit longer, Sharon. You need to check your messages.
Okay. Yeah, and I do need to keep myself hydrated while I'm out in the sun, hence my water bottle. Okay, thank you for that reminder. Nice. So is there anybody else that has an experience that they would like to share whilst we're waiting for Brother Alvin to come on? Anybody else? Okay. Still talking about doing.
Leonora going to share my experience. Can you hear me?
Leonora?
That's me there.
Yep, we've got
yes,
you.
we can hear you.
I think this is the 4th time I've been on this program. The first time was about diabetes, and I've took in a lot from that. I really, really and truly did enjoy that program, and I've been practicing. And with my diet, my blood sugar being high, like 558, 59 for many years, it's gone down since I've been practicing some of the things, drinking 2 liters of water, making my green smoothie more often, everything on more often, which hasn't. And I had a stroke as well, mini stroke in December. And anyway, I went to my GP and to see my diabetic nurse, and after my blood test and things, pressure, after a week or 2, the result, I went and I walked in, and there's Leonora, my nurse, Leonora. Oh, everything is good. Your blood sugar gone down to near to nil. Your your BP has gone down, your immune system is right at where it is. So I said, what else? And she said, I was excited because I'm happy. And she says, your cholesterol. I said, hey, I haven't been. Oh, and she said, everything came excellent. We are so happy. However, I asked her to put on the system for me for some vitamin E tablets. And when the GP got it from the diabetic nurse, she called me back and she says, you don't need it. We are so happy with your immune system and everything is up. So I need to tell you that that's what happened of that with that program and watching it. I've been inviting people to the program because it's really okay. I finished now.
Thank you so much, Leonora. I'm so glad that you had that opportunity to share that with us. That one shouldn't have been kept hidden. So you are blessed. And I hope others have found encouragement. I know I found encouragement from your testimony. So thank you so much. I mean, we have so much available to us, and it doesn't cost much to get all that benefit from just simply drinking water, practicing some health activities that's just gonna just be like your body's just been crying out for it. I mean, even just before this platform, myself and my husband Edgar, we went for a walk in the local country park, and by doing that, we're benefiting from the fresh air, the exercise, the sunshine, and I'm sure there's more in there. Yeah, even just the tranquility of watching the ducks, and it was just beautiful, just being in nature. So we have so much that we can just benefit from, and that's just going to help to take the blood pressure down. There are some comments in the chat, so don't forget we have that facility as well, so we can read if you've got any testimonies in there that you want to share in the chat, if you might feel a bit shy coming on camera. So we have one here that says, praise the Lord. It's a powerful reminder that there is great rewards in trying the things taught, even when we don't understand the full science behind it. Do something different daily. And that one's coming to us from, I can't see the name very well on my phone, but thank you so much. Yep. And the other comments, yep, avoid burning because of skin sensitivity. Yet some of us, our skin could be more sensitive than others, especially those with freckles and ginger hair. And there's others that can tolerate a lot more of the heat. If you've noticed, I've been going back to from the front to the back of the house because I'm trying to go where there's less noise. When I'm in the back, it's fine until somebody puts on their lawnmower. When I'm in the front, I'm fine until the ice cream van comes by. But there you go. I'm not fully in the countryside yet. Okay, so it's now 28 minutes past. I feel inspired to ask for one more testimony. Is that you, Chris? Someone else from the admin team want to share something? Don't be shy.
Oops, how do you turn this camera around? How do you turn the camera around? 1 second, guys. Hi, guys. I just wanted to share my salad that I'm making right now. Got a little bit of kale in there, some red radish. Yeah. Got some nice romaine lettuce and some red peppers. We did want to put some spinach in, but the kale from our allotment. What kind of things do you guys put in your salads? You know, with the weather being so warm, we was thinking, oh gosh, like can't bother to be in the kitchen, but we just decided to just make a nice big salad. We're gonna have some baked potatoes. So I just thought, just come in salad, you can be so creative. Like you can as many colors as you can get. You can add some avocado in there as well, and some hummus and some olives as well. So yes, guys, just thought I'd just come on here and just share with you what I'm doing. I'm listening in on the program. I'm really excited to hear about the benefits of sunshine today. And I thought it'd be nice to just come and share with you guys what we're having for lunch today. Because without the sunshine, nothing can grow. So yeah, guys, that was my little thing to share today. I'll post a picture of it with the colourful salad when we're finished. I'm gonna add some red onion in there as well. I just need to chop that up and then we're good to go. Sorry, Sharon, a bit random, but I just thought I'd just come and share.
Listen, Natalia, no need to apologize. That's fantastic. That just reminded me of another challenge that we could do sometime in the future. Yeah, the rainbow salad challenge. So that's great. All the different colors with all the different properties. That's good for us. So that's, yeah, I mean, your timing, well, I'm a little bit hungry now. No, I'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine. Okay. And it's just beautiful just seeing what God has for us in all these different colors. Even just looking again, I'm in my garden, I'm looking at the plums. Some of you may have fruit trees that are in season, just waiting for them to ripen up and enjoy the benefits. Sorry, just admitting somebody else, admitting someone else. Okay, so do we have Brother Alvin on the platform now? Just let him in.
Yes, just now,
Okay.
Sharon.
I think we need to give him a little bit of, give him 1 minute's grace to do his screen sharing.
Sharon.
And anything else that he may need.
Sharon.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, we're ready. Good evening. I will mute.
I'm sorry for my delay. I've been having some problems on my side, but I'm with you. Stay with me a little while. Are you ready for me?
Yes, we're ready.
Yes, we are. Just perfect timing.
Oh, God knows. Can you all see me clearly?
Yes, we can.
If you can't, that's fine. You don't need to see me. You just need to hear the word. Amen. All right, let's bow our heads. It's the custom for all those who are watching on the screen. That is my custom, that when I'm opening anything at all, I turn to God for my strength. That's how I function. I know not every one of you online is from a Christian persuasion, but that's okay. I'm just sharing with you how I function. That's the way I was raised. So bear with me. If our heads bowed and our eyes closed, Father in heaven, I want to thank you for your grace, your mercy. I want to thank you for health and strength. I want to thank you for this opportunity you've given me to breathe, to have a life in everyone that's in this room. And at this time, oh Heavenly Father, I'm asking you to take control of this presentation. Speak to the hearts of men and women that are out there and allow them to hear you and you only. In the name of Yeshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, amen and amen. It is so good to see you all. It is so good. Khalees, Vanessa, David Livingston, all the way from India. Got a lot more people from India joining along the journey. Lenora, there's so many names, but I'm gonna share my screen. I hope I can share it. And please do not give me control of the screen, because it's gonna be challenging trying to function and add. Oh, you all can see that, right?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, wonderful. Let the sunshine in. Now, I want to ask you all this question. How many of you all have seen a BMW car? You know, many of you all love the BMW car, the Mercedes car, you know, the Benz or the Bentley. How many of you have seen a BMW or Bentley being made by Vauxhall? Anybody? No one. Why is that? Because BMW has its own identity and has its own branding on everything that it does. And you can tell a BMW because of its branding. You can tell a BMW because of its workmanship, its craftsmanship, its technology. It is so unique. It is totally different to a Vauxhall. You can tell a Vauxhall by its brand. And the reason why I'm opening up like that is when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, every single day you look at yourself in the mirror, what looks back at you? Something looks back at you that's real interesting. There's a brand. There is a brand identity that is shown right there. This afternoon, we're looking at the sun and the sun's influence on the human anatomy, the human biology, the human physiology. I'm not getting too much in the medical side of things. I'm going to share some of that with you. But one of the areas that I want to look at especially is the circadian rhythm of the body and of the mind. But we're going to get through some points that you need to look at, and I'm just going to share them broadly so that you can go look back and study for yourself. I'm not going to cover everything in this subject matter. As I said, time is not with me. I'm starting already late, but there's always a part 2 and a part 3, but just work with me as the Holy Spirit leads. So let's get into the reason why I asked that question. The sun. Anybody knows where the sun came from? Anybody? Okay, let's go. And I'm going to open with the word. I'm going to open with the word. If you look at the sun, when you get up in the morning, where I live in a mountainside area where it's pretty close to the mountain. It's beautiful up here. I can see so many different things that's happening. I get up in the morning and I see the green fields. I see cows. I see sheep. I live in a village. So I'm surrounded by beautiful terrain, mountains. And while I'm in India also, I also see scenes like this. And David Livingstone, who is on site, and most of those of my friends from India, you know, when I'm with you all in India, you know, you have me in places like this. And in Nepal, places like this. So God has placed me in strategic places around the world. And in my travels, I end up in places like this because I find peace and tranquility. Here is where I can talk to God. Here is where I can have my quality time with God and be able to rejuvenate, see the sun rise up and have it kiss my skin in the morning. Now, I want to share something with you about the sun, the origin of the sun. If you go with me to Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 1, I'm just going to open with this. Genesis, the first chapter, Genesis chapter 1. And so that you can understand why I'm turning to the word, you'll get there in a moment. In Genesis chapter 1, I'm not going to go all the way through. I'm just going to take it from verse 14. And I'm talking about the creation story. I know there's a lot of people up there talking about evolution and all the rest of it. And everybody is entitled to their viewpoints until it is proven. But the creation story clearly outlines that and helps me to refute the evolutionary theory. Notice it's called the evolutionary theory, which is the hypothesis. It's not even a full reality. It's a hypothesis or theory that tells me that there was a big bang and it came to fruition. Now, and interesting, if I put a bomb in your room and I explode it, you ain't gonna look so pretty. So it's kind of strange for me to believe that the sun came out of a big bang, as those have said. So let me go to the creation story in here and get some sense from that. So bear with me. It is not to be negative to any person's viewpoint, but I'm just trying to reason with my understanding. So in Genesis chapter 1, it says, "And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Now, do we have days and years? That is clear. We have days and years, do we not? Okay, so let's go on. "And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good." And it says now the evening and the morning was the fourth day. Now, when I look at that and I get up in the morning, even right now where I'm sitting and talking to you from the screen, It is so beautiful outside. That sun is kissing the trees and the rooftops, and it's coming right through, and you all can see me because of that sun. And it is clear that that sun is there because it is written that it was put there by the Creator and his hands alone. It is placed there by his hands and his hands alone. So we can look at that and see that the sun is evidence of the Creator's hands. At the nighttime, when the sun goes down, we can look around and see that the moon is up in the skies and the stars up in the skies. Oh, you ladies, you know, you love to be walking in the moonlight with your partners and your husbands or whoever it is, and they're walking in that beautiful moonlight, and you can see the stars, and you're twinkling, and you're looking at each other's eyes. You know, don't start getting soppy on me now. You know what I'm talking about. But that is evident that the moon and the stars was created by the Creator's hands, and those things are self-evident for me. Wherever I travel around the world, I see the sun, I see the moon, I see the stars. It goes on to tell us something also in Psalms chapter 19, verse 1 to 6. Go with me. Psalms 19, 1 to 6. Psalms, the 19th chapter. Psalms, the 19th chapter, reading 1 to 6. Psalms, the 19th chapter. And then we're going to break out of this for a little while. Psalms, the 19th chapter, reading verse 1 to 6. You can see it on your screen, but I'm going to read it from the word. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle of the sun, or set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom cometh out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of heaven, and the circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Every single time the sun comes out, you feel the sun. You embrace the sun. The sun helps you to stay focused. It helps you to be alert. And we're going to go into some of that subject matter as we get into that. Now, I want you to, just lay your Bibles aside for a few moments. And the reason why I open with the word is because I want you to understand that the Creator of the universe have your good intentions and my intentions at heart. Before you lay it aside, go with me to 3 John 2 so that you can understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. 3 John 2, and then we can put the Bible aside for but a moment as we get into this. 3 John 2. We all know this by heart, most of those who follow the Bible, but those who have never read it, here's what it is said. Beloved, I wish above all things, not some things, all things, that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. That is God's plan for you and I. God does not want any one of us to be sick and dying. He doesn't wish that for any one of us. He doesn't want that. But today we're living in a serious time where many people are sick and dying, and it is shocking for me that nobody goes back to the Creator to ask his answers. If you go to the BMW to fix your BMW, why are we not going to the Creator to get fixed? Why are we listening to people in the world, many of them who do not even have any knowledge about the Creator, let alone knowledge about themselves? Many of them are talking about vaccines. They want to give you vaccines, but they're not talking about how to nourish your body, how to empower your body, how to empower your immune system so that you become strong. None of these things are on the table, but we're hearing about vaccines, and evidently we are seeing that the vaccines is now beginning to spread as they begin to use it in Yorkshire, in the United Kingdom, in India on Independence Day. They're hoping to bring it out in the United States and other places. They're trialing vaccines that have not yet even been fully tested, have not gone through the particular chambers, but they're even offering people 600 pounds in the UK, in the United States, are the funds to go and get injected, 600 pounds. Now, I can spend that in a flash. $600, I can spend that in a flash. 600. What is the price of your health? What is the price of your life when your life is gone? 600. And they're asking people to trial that, especially in a desperate time where finances are low and people do not have that. So let's get into this. The human body. The human body. The human body system is considered the most wonderful machine ever built. It's composed of all of what? 11 systems that work together to support and sustain life. How many systems does it say? 11. 11, but I go on to say normally 12. The reason being is because the reproductive system is split in two. the reproductive system, both the male and female reproductive system, is different because of the anatomy that is in. But it's 11 systems that work together in support and sustenance of life. Understanding the body. Understanding the body. This is just some groundwork so that you all can see what's happening. What do you see on the screen? So somebody start reading them out. Just unmute your mic and read them out loud for me. Anybody? Don't all rush at once.
Cardiovascular.
Okay, read them all.
Skeletal, nervous, cardiovascular. I can see why some people didn't want to read it. Integumentary, muscular, endocrine, lymphatic, digestive, male reproductive, respiratory, urinary, and female reproductive.
Right. So you see the rest of the reproductive system, the male reproductive system is different to the female. So when you're counting on the screen, you'll actually see 12, but they're actually 11. But the reproductive system is split into 2. But do you have that in your body today? Is this your body? Do you have a skeletal system? Do you have a bone structure? And if you notice, it is all laid out. You will have these slides, by the way, at the end of the presentation. I'm just giving you a slide overview of the body in a crash course. But these slides are just things that you can have an idea of the 11 systems of your body right now. The skeletal system, the nervous system, the cardiovascular system, the integumentary system, muscular system, endocrine system. You have them all there. These are functional necessities for our body's health and functionality. If any one of these is impaired, our whole body is in trouble. I want you to understand that the skeletal system, for instance, it supports the body, it protects the organs, it allows so many different things to take place in us that we don't even realize because we have not taken enough time to look at the body. It protects vital organs, it allows movement, it stores minerals, it aids red blood cells production, it stores chemical energy. So we need stuff like that for the skeletal system. You're going to need stuff like calcium and so forth, etc., to keep those bones strong. And you do not evidently get calcium from cow's milk. I just thought I'd let you all know that. Go do your own study and research, and you'll understand that cow's milk does not actually give your body calcium. It actually rapes your body of that in so many different ways. And you find it especially in countries that are heavily consuming milk and dairy products. You have brittle bones and other situations. So the skeletal system also needs vital nutrients that keeps it functioning and effective. But it protects what? It protects your organs. It serves as a casing around your anatomy so that you can be strong individuals. It keeps you upright. If you see a person that is normally bending low, you will find that it is a challenge for them to get straightened up if they stay in that position for a long time. And the bones is just like a baby. You notice when a baby is formed and a baby develops, and the baby grows stronger as time goes on. The older the baby gets, the stronger it is. It's like a tree. You can't bend a tree when it becomes a tree. You got to bend it when it becomes a sapling. And so it is with the body. You know to keep the body strong. You need to keep it functioning so that everything is in order. Anatomy and physiology. This is the subject matter that you need to look into. It is our responsibility to know about anatomy and physiology. Your responsibility, my responsibility. Don't just rely on a doctor and don't rely on somebody else to just tell you how your body works. You need to know because there's so many limitations from many medical professionals, and they have their purpose. Don't get me wrong. Every doctor out there has their purpose. They have their speciality, but they don't know everything, just like we don't know everything. But there's certain basic things that we ought to know. And this is the thing that we need to go look at, anatomy and physiology. It is crucial that we know these things. It is absolutely vital that we stay on top. Know your anatomy and physiology. Know your body. Vital organs. Let's look at some of those vital organs. I'm going to get into these. This is just a precursor to before I get into the proper dissection of what I'm about to get into. It says the vital organs that you need to look at. The human body contains 5 organs that are considered vital for survival. You got the heart, the brain, the kidneys, the liver, and the lungs. The location of these 5 organs and several other internal organs are shown in the figures below. If any of the 5 vital organs stops functioning and medical intervention is not readily available, the organism's death will be imminent. Notice that if you have some malfunction in your heart, in your brain, kidneys, liver, and lungs, problematic. If it is long enough, if you have a brain hemorrhage or brain aneurysm, brain tumor, and this is not addressed immediately, or if there's something that's not addressed, you can be dead in a short space of time. Liver and kidneys, so many of us abuse our livers and kidneys with a lot of the foods that we're eating. And these things are vital organs, not supplement. They're vital. The Bible, when you go into the whole bibliography of medicine and understanding, they are vital for a reason. Your life depends on the full functionality of each and every one of these, and they're interconnected. And evidently, the lungs works for the respiratory system. That is one of the things right now in COVID-19 that is a major issue. The lungs being, you're breathing. And it's funny how in our respiratory system, as I said to you in the last couple of weeks, that if we're looking at a respiratory system, anytime you fall on the street or you have a problem, the first thing the ambulance crew shows up and to realize that you have shortness of breath or breathing issues, they get oxygen onto you. But evidently today we're told to wear a mask. That's another subject matter, another program. But we're told to wear a mask, which basically suffocates not only the oxygen that is coming in, but it also causes problems for the carbon dioxide that is leaving and going back into our system that we need to get rid of. The liver also needs the vital necessity of oxygen in order to function effectively. The kidneys need oxygen. The brain need oxygen. All of this is going through the circulatory system, which is the blood and the cells need, and that's all coming from the heart. If the heart is not pumping properly, the brain would not get the full effects of its functionality. So these are things which we need to look at. The heart is located evidently in the center of the chest, and its function is to keep blood flowing through the body. Blood carries substance to the cells they need. It also carries waste away from cells. The brain is located in the head, and functions as the body control system. Last week we talked about that, and we're going to speak more about that in this presentation. It is the seat of all thoughts, memories, perceptions, and feelings. As I told you, in the hypothalamus, that is where we went through all of that in the last week. The 2 kidneys are located in the back of the abdomen on either side of the body. Their function is to filter blood and form urine, which is excreted from the body. The liver is located on the right side of the abdomen. Its functions include filtering blood, secreting bile that is needed for digestion, and producing proteins necessary for blood clotting. The 2 lungs are located on either side of the upper chest. Their main function is exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide with the blood. So you're seeing this is just some expressions of some of the vital organs that we are looking at here that is key for our existence at such a time as this and for any time in our lives. When a baby is born, you see that baby is, they need a rubber so to get the oxygen going so the baby can be alive. And as I told you in the last couple of weeks, the breath of life is one of the greatest gifts that God gave unto us. When he breathed into man, and man became a living soul everywhere in the world, no matter what nationality, no matter what creed, what color, what caste, whatever you want to put yourself in category, you cannot live without the breath of God. The breath, air, is crucial. It is vital, and not just any air, clean air at all times. Integumentary system. Organs of the integumentary system includes the skin, hair, nails. The skin is the largest of what? Organs in the body. It's the largest. I want you to understand. You look at your body, you're covered in skin. Covered in skin. And what happens there? It encloses what? The body in the sight of many sensory perceptors. If I touch you, you get, if I touch you with something hot or prickly, you jump. If I touch you gently, it sends sensations in your body, in different parts of your body. Depends on how that touch is. The skin is a very, very sensitive organ. And therefore, all the creams that you're putting on your body, many of you are suffering with different skin ailments, eczema, and other different skin allergies that you have. You're also suffering with other things internal because of things that are put on your skin, products that are put on your skin, chemicals that has gone straight into your skin. A lot of us back in the day when I used to wear stiff soft roll, my hair is cut now, and I try to make sure that the coconut oil stays on my head, or the castor oil stays on my head, or olive oil stays on my head. I try not to get away from all of these other things. Once upon a time, I was a great lover of cocoa butter. great lover of cocoa butter, but then I began to look at all these stuff. Now you can get the natural cocoa butter, but not the synthetic ones that got all the chemicals in it. It gets into your skin, it starts to have effects in your body. And so you can understand what I'm saying, how powerful your skin is. While you're even on the screen or at the end of this presentation, go get a cube of garlic, just a clove of garlic, and you just rub it on your hands or rub it on your heel, and you automatically taste it in your mouth. That is exactly how the skin actually absorbs stuff and also flex stuff. So that's important for you to understand. What you put on your skin gets into your body and gets into your bloodstream, and it can also cause diseases that you don't even know about, as your body's being affected by what you put on top of it alone. So I want you to understand the skin is the body's first defense against pathogens, and it also helps regulate body temperature and eliminate waste and sweat. The skeletal system, as we talked about, consists of bones, joints, and teeth. The bones of the skeletal system are connected by tendons, ligaments, cartilage, and the function of the skeletal system, including supporting the body and giving it shape along with the muscular system. The skeletal system enables the body to move, and the bones of the skeletal system also protect internal organs, store calcium, and produce red and white blood cells. So I need you to understand, this is just this is an overview. I'm just giving you some insight of how your body actually functions. The muscular system, many of us guys, we like to look fit. Not only guys too, the girls, they're trying to compete with us. They want to have a six-pack. And for you, many of you guys who are having a family pack, you're still trying to get a six-pack. That belly is out there that you can't see your feet anymore because of too much eating. When our stomach is only the size of our fist, and we're eating beyond that. So you can't see your feet anymore. But for those who are trying to get that six-pack and get your body structure, it's all coming into the muscular system. And also you need to look at the waste management that you're getting rid of. If you don't empty the garbage can, things accumulate in that garbage can, and it affects the functionality of how you are. So I want you to look at things here in terms of the muscular system. It consists of 3 different types of muscles, including skeletal muscles, which are attached to the bones. Allows tendons allow the voluntary movements of the body. Smooth muscle tissues control the involuntary movements of internal organs, such as the organs of the digestive system, allowing food to move through the system. Smooth muscles in blood vessels allow vasoconstriction and vasodilation, thereby helping to regulate body temperature. So your body temperature is controlled again from your muscular system. Cardiac muscle tissues control the involuntary beating of the heart, allowing it to pump blood through the blood vessels of the cardiovascular system. The nervous system also, the nervous system includes the brain and spinal cord, which makes up the central nervous system, and nerves that run throughout the rest of the body. Notice when you have from your spine, the spine starts from the back and it runs all the way down, and it ends with a coccyx, what we call the coccyx bone. And I don't know if any of you ever fell on your coccyx bone and everything in the body just shuts down. And for a long time, until that thing heals, your mobility is impaired, your functionality is impaired, because the spine is one of the key components of your anatomy. All the nerves and things run through that into the body, throughout the rest of the body. So this here makes up the peripheral nervous system. And the nervous system controls both voluntary and involuntary responses of the human organism, and also detects and processes sensory information. So you notice when you get touched or you get hot, things heated, it goes through the nervous system. It all passes through the nervous system and straight to your brain. Going into this, the endocrine system is made up of glands that secretes hormones into the blood, which then carries hormones throughout the body entirely. Hormones are chemical messengers that controls the body very, very well. So I need you to understand that when you're looking at metabolism and you're looking at growth and sexual development and all these areas, it is all, but most of it is coming through the endocrine system. But again, it is all connected to the circulatory system because you need blood flow. So I need you to understand that if you notice, all of this is about everything. God, when he created us, was so unique that it's still a mystery to the greatest doctors out there. It is still a mystery to man, and we are learning what we are able to learn, sufficient thereof to keep us healthy. But many of us are not taking any time to learn these things. So I'm just sharing some foreknowledge that will be in the slides for you. Some of the endocrine glands include the pancreas, thyroid gland, and adrenal glands. Then we look at the cardiovascular system, which we know is the heart. The cardiovascular system, also called the circulatory system, includes the heart, blood, and 3 types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. The heart pumps blood, which travels through the blood vessels. The main function of the cardiovascular system is to transport oxygen from lungs and nutrients from the digestive system. You notice the gut-brain connection, which we talked about in the last couple of weeks. You know, your gut is classified in the medical terms as your second brain, So whatever happens in this system here, the gases, the foods that are not digested in your guts, affects your oxygen and affects your brain. People are having brain fog and other things that they're going through with, and that then spreads into other areas of your body, cell death, etc. Because if you're not getting sufficient oxygen, then your cells is not mutating properly, it's not growing properly. That automatically starts problems in your circulatory system, backs onto your respiratory system, etc. Carbon dioxide and other waste materials are picked up from the cells and transported to organs such as the lungs and kidneys for elimination from the body. You notice the body is constantly trying to get rid of waste, and one of those wastes is carbon dioxide. But yet still we are told to wear a mask, which we're inhaling back carbon dioxide. As I said, that's another story, another day, another Zoom meeting. The cardiovascular system also equalizes body temperature and transport endocrine hormones to cells in the body where they are needed. The lymphatic system and the respiratory system. I want you to look at these two in your own time as I give you the slides, but I just want to jump forward a little bit as I go through the digestive system, the urinary system. You'll be able to see these in your presentation as you get it. The male female reproductive system. And here's a diagram of the cardiovascular system, where the major organs, the heart, the arteries, the veins, the capillaries, the transport blood. You'll be able to see this more effectively. Also the immune system, which is very pertinent right now, and with the situation with the coronavirus, which protects you from diseases and illnesses. The immune system. Now, this is one subject matter that we really need to get deeply involved with, because the sun and the immune system is pertinent. And as I said, I can't get through everything, but let's look at the sun this afternoon. Why do we need the sun on Earth? Scientists tell us that it radiates light and heat, or solar energy, which makes it possible for life to exist on Earth. Plants need sunlight to grow, and animals, including humans, need plants to food and oxygen they produce. Without heat from the sun, Earth would freeze. So I want you to understand the vital, within nature on its own, within Earth as it stands, every living organism that moves and breathes and has its being needs the sun in order to grow and develop and function effectively, from the plants to the animals to you and I. And if the Earth itself on its surface does not get the heat, the Earth would freeze. And have you ever noticed when it's cold outside, how many layers do you wear to get thermally insulated? How many layers, my brother used to laugh at me. When it comes to a certain time of the year, I would have 4 and 5 sweats on, and yeah, I look like, the Michelin man, because I can't stand the cold. And I remember while at sea in the Merchant Navy, we came into port in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and it was minus 45. Minus 45. Now you can imagine this skin that is supposed to be accustomed and that is raised in the sun and nurtured in heat, and suddenly, this was a cold that I've never felt in my entire life. Minus 45. When our ship came through, the icebreakers came before our ship, and where the icebreakers break, you could not even see. You see the ice blocks look like towers. So when you look at the movie, the Titanic, that would bring you some reality when you're there and you see these ice blocks that went down forever, and that ice and that cold was beyond. It went through your bones. Don't matter how much you was wearing, you just could not get hot. You could not get warm, let alone hot. And everything was freezing up. So you can imagine if your body freezes and everything freezes up, means your blood freezes. So you wouldn't be able to function effectively. You know, that's why in the Bible, it tells us that pray that our flight be not in the winter, you know, because you don't want to freeze. The sun and human beings, the sun and us. Nothing is more important. This is from NASA. Nothing is more important to us on Earth than the sun. The sun warms our seas, stirs our atmosphere, generates our weather patterns, and gives energy to the growing green plants that provide a food and oxygen for life on Earth. And you can go on the NASA website itself, and you can see a lot more information about the sun. Sunlight and sleep. This is one of the ones that I want to get involved with today. Sunlight and sleep. Sleep Foundation. This is taken from the sleepfoundation.org. So we got a foundation out there. These are people who are got a lot of medical teams with them. So the information that they're given is very solid and very tangible. And it says in our modern world, we spend more time indoors. Have you noticed we've been told to go indoors? We're already indoors anyhow. Many of us are already indoors on those machines. But have you noticed we are told now to go indoors? But sunlight still helps regulate our sleeping patterns. And when you're ready to begin the day, exposing your body to the sun will not only help alert the brain, the brain, the central machinery of the human anatomy, the main organ of the human anatomy in sense of transmission and sense of functionality, the brain, which we talked about, where you think and breathe and move and have your being in the sense of it, on its sensory and its feelings and emotions through the hypothalamus and through the frontal lobe. It says it would help alert the brain and set you in motion. It would also help you sleep later on. Sleep and the body. The circadian rhythm. Getting morning sunlight can help you sleep better at night. What did I say? Getting morning in the morning time, getting morning sunlight can help you sleep better at night. That might not seem to make any sense, but however, there's evidence that it's true, especially if you have a circadian rhythm disorder. That's because of numerous factors, including body temperature, because sunlight can warm you up. Morning production of the stress hormones, cortisol, increases in the level of the hormone serotonin, which is important to sleep. I hope you're making note. I hope you're looking at what is being said. As I said, you'll get the slides. But I want you to understand these are vital. Cortisol, serotonin, these are vital for our functionality and hormone development and our cell growth and keeping us as alert and functioning as human beings as possible. I'm going to break it down a little further. I'm seeing a lot of people is coming into the room. It says the term circadian comes from the Latin phrase circadium, which means around a day. So in other words, the sun has an integral part in your sleep patterning, and rest and your alertness is very vital. So to explain the circadian rhythm in simple terms, when the sun rises, that's when you're supposed to be awake. When the sun goes down and the moon comes up, that's when you're supposed to be asleep. I can't get more simple than that. But let's get into some depth of the circadian rhythm and how it affects the body. And all of this is coming and function from the sun. The circadian rhythms is 24-hour cycles that are part of the body's internal clock, running in the background to carry out essential functions and processes. One of the most important and well-known circadian rhythms is the sleep-wake cycle. Different systems of the body follow circadian rhythms that are synchronized with a master clock in the brain. This master clock is directly influenced by environmental cues, especially light, which is why circadian rhythms are tied to the cycle of day and night. When properly aligned, the circadian rhythm can promote consistent and restorative sleep. But when the circadian rhythm is thrown off, it can create significant sleeping problems, including insomnia. Research is also revealing that circadian rhythms play an integral role in diverse aspects of physical and mental health. Now, when you start looking at things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, you're seeing that the circadian rhythm is involved in quite a lot of this, as well as many other factors. But your sleep and your rest and your functionality and the time that you are taking rays from the sun is very, very important. I need you to understand that so many of us go outside in the sun, and sometimes we don't even go out in the sun, especially for those people of color like myself and those listening from India and from Mexico and other places like that, the Latin America and South America, you notice that your skin type is darker. So we need to make sure that we're out in the sun and we're getting the sun into our body. You can't have yourself going outside in a hot day and you're covered up from head to toe. You know, that is not good. And if you look at a lot of our young people today, they're walking around with hoodies on. Hot day, and they're walking around with a hoodie on. You notice their eyes are all black and hands become black in there. You know, their skin don't look good. Their skin don't look good because there's issues with the functionality of the body because it is not getting the rays of the sun and it's not getting the nutrients that is vital that is for us. And it's important for us, especially time like this, we need to be out in the sun, and you don't go out any time also in the sun. Just like with water, you don't drink water at any given point in time. There's a time for being in the sun, there's a time not to be in the sun. We're going to hopefully cover a little bit about that. How does the circadian rhythm work? The circadian rhythm works by helping to make sure that what? That our body processes are what? Optimized at various points during a 24-hour period. The term circadian comes from the Latin, as I said, phrase circadian means around the day. Circadian rhythms exist in all types of organisms. For example, they help flowers open and close at the right time and keep nocturnal animals from leaving their shelter during the daytime when they will be exposed to more predators. In people, the circadian rhythm coordinate mental and physical systems. What did I say? In human beings, in you and I, the circadian rhythms coordinate mental and physical systems throughout the body. The digestive system produces proteins to match the typical timings of meals, and the endocrine system regulates hormones to suit normal energy expenditure. So when we're looking at this, we're seeing that the sun plays a vital role in our functionality, and it's the biggest light in the daytime. Most of us are awake longest in the daytime, so that is the time where we alert the most. That is the time where our bodies is mostly taxed and mostly functioning. So that is where we need sufficient energy, we need to make sure that our bodies is exposed to the sun at levels that we are able to function, and as well as the other nutrients that we're taking in, because the body, as I said, the sun helps to regulate a lot of these things by how it is absorbing these things through the skin and other areas. The circadian rhythm, sorry, could somebody please read that for me? Somebody be so kind to read that for me. I'm sorry. Could some person please unmute your mic and just read this carefully for me? Anybody, if you don't mind. I'm gonna take a glass of water. I'm sorry. Here we look. Sorry, go ahead.
The circadian rhythms throughout the body are connected to a master clock, sometimes referred to as the circadian pacemaker, located in the brain. Specifically, it is found in the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is in a part of the brain called the hypothalamus. At different times of the day, clock genes in the SCN send signals to regulate activity throughout the body. The SNN is highly sensitive to light, which serves as a critical external cue that influences the signals sent by the SCN to coordinate internal clocks in the body. For this reason, circadian rhythms are closely connected to day and night, while other cues like exercise, social activity, and temperature can affect the master clock. Light is the most powerful influence on circadian rhythms.
Wow, thank you very much. Light, light is the most powerful influence on a circadian rhythm. Light. Isn't it interesting that in the Bible that we are called the lights of the world? You know, Jesus himself, who is the ultimate light of the world, and giving us the sun, which is the light to illumine our day and to give us energy and to help supply our functionality. You notice it's saying this is taken again from the Sleep Foundation. This is an article from them. This is an NGO organization, a non-governmental organization at most, which is telling us, along with NASA, and you know, you can go to most of the military sites and you will find how important light is for pilots and other people, cabin crew. I mean, while I was at sea, I struggle a lot with sleep deprivation when I got off ship, because while most people were sleeping, I was in the middle of the Atlantic at 2200, 2300 hours at night, 0100 in the morning. I was full on duty, and this is where the circadian rhythm is messed up for people who are working as pilots, as cabin crew, as people who work in warehouses, doctors and nurses. Their circadian rhythms is all messed up because of sleep deprivation. They're not exposed to sunlight when they're supposed to be sleeping. They're awake, and when they're supposed to be awake, they're sleeping. So these are the things that is happening. They're not getting sufficient light. They're not being able to function effectively. Their circadian rhythms are messed up, and it took me years, and I'm still at times struggling. If I don't get into bed before 2200 hours, I struggle, and that is the best time for repair, evidently. Between 2200 and midnight, that's when your eyesight and all these things, you know, your body goes through that cleaning process and repair, and you know, the internal system comes out with a Hoover and start cleaning up things that needs to get rid of, etc. That's the time. But most of us don't get to bed that time. We don't get to bed that time. Some of us are up and we're in artificial light. That's another thing that messes up your circadian rhythm. Those blue lights, when you're supposed to be sleeping, you're looking at your cell phone. You're on your laptop, on your computer. It messes with your brain, and your brain being the hard drive of the human anatomy that keeps the body in functionality and its messaging. If you're messing with your brain, you're messing with your hard drive, you're messing with your drive. I hope you got that. You play with a computer, you mess with a hard drive, you mess with the drive, your computer is not functioning the way it's supposed to be. And if you see somebody that has sleep deprivation, oh Lord have mercy, you're not moving the way you're supposed to move. So how does the circadian rhythm affect us? So let's look at this very carefully. When people talk about circadian rhythm, it's most often in the context of what? Sleep. The sleep-awake cycle is one of the most clear and critical examples of the importance of circadian rhythms. During the day, light exposure causes the master clock to what? Send signals that generate alertness and help us to keep what? Awake and active. As night falls, the master clock initiates the production of melatonin, a hormone that promotes sleep, and then keeps transmitting signals that help us stay asleep through the night. In this way, our circadian rhythm aligns our sleep and wakefulness with day and night to create a stable cycle of restorative rest that enables increased daytime activity. You notice when we read in the Bible, God gave the sun for a reason. It was the largest thing, because in the daytime we do the most work. That's the time where we need to be alive and need to be alert. But there needs to be a time where your body needs to shut down and rest and repair. If you notice, every single time you walk and move, if you notice how much movement you make in the wear and tear of your body, you need to rest to get it repaired. You need to nourish it effectively to get it well. And one of the things in COVID-19 that it's telling us about, they're talking about vitamin D, which is crucial from the sun. And there's other things that we need to have, which is rest, that we don't have. We also need to nourish the body effectively so that our body is functioning. But as I said to you, as it said from from NASA and all the others, light, and that sun is vital for our existence, for the existence of every living organism on planet Earth, especially us as human beings. What does the circadian rhythm do to our sleep? While the sleep-awake cycle is one of the most prominent circadian rhythms, these 24-hour internal clocks play a vital role in virtually, give me 1 second. I had this computer glitch. I'll read that again. While the sleep-wake cycle is one of the most prominent circadian rhythms, these 24-hour internal clocks play a vital role in virtually all systems of the body. Notice what I said. Notice what I said. Notice what is being said here. While the sleep-wake cycle is one of the most prominent circadian rhythms, these 24-hour interval internal clocks play a vital role in virtually all systems of the body. Research continues to uncover details about the circadian rhythms, but evidence has connected them to metabolism and weight through the regulation of blood sugar and cholesterol. Circadian rhythm influence mental health as well, including the risk of psychiatric illnesses like depression, bipolar disorder, as well as potential for neurodegenerative diseases like dementia, and I can name a number of other autoimmune diseases. But there are indications that a circadian rhythm have an important influence on the immune system. The immune system, what is your, the larger system? I want you to understand, 80% of your anatomy is your immune system. Your immune system, key for your functionality. And it says to us here that there's indication that the circadian rhythm, your sleep, your night and day, your rest time, and your wake up time have an important influence on the immune system as well as processes of DNA repair that involve preventing cancer. Early stage research indicates that circadian cycles can influence the effectiveness of anti-cancer drugs, and that new medications may be able to harness biological clocks to kill cancer cells. So I want you to understand, when your body is not repaired properly, if it is not nourished properly, if it is not allowed to eliminate and absorb and renourish and grow and develop and function, if you're not getting the oxygen that you need, which is vital, if you're not getting your vitamin D, if you're not getting the minerals, the trace minerals and the nutrients that your body needs to function and for the body to actually articulate all of these things through your sleep patterning, you will have some serious knock-on effects on virtually all of your systems of your body. In your skeletal system, you begin to, you can't stand straight because your body is fatigued. It is tired because you have not rested properly. You have been sleeping at the wrong times. So your circadian rhythm is messed up your skeletal system. You're slouching, you're sluggish. It messed up your circulatory system. Again, because your oxygen levels is not coming through the way it's supposed to be. So you end up with respiratory problems. The list goes on. It affects every single thing that you have as a human being. How to maintain a healthy circadian rhythm. So you can see the importance. So how do we maintain that? So let's look at some of that. While we don't have full control over circadian rhythm, there are healthy sleep patterns that we need to be taken into control. What are those things that we need to look out? We first need to do what? We first need to do what? Seek out sun. Exposure to natural light. Notice what I said. Exposure to natural light, especially early in the day. Exposure to natural light, especially early in the day, helps reinforce the strongest circadian cue. Follow a consistent sleep schedule. Varying your bedtime or morning wake-up time can hinder your body's ability to adjust to a stable circadian rhythm. Get daily exercises, activity in that time. So I want you to understand your daily exercise is also vital for you to be able to function effectively. So number one was seek out the sun. Number two, follow a consistent sleep schedule. Number three, get daily exercise. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound like the 8 laws of health? Sunlight, rest. Come on now, those of you who know it. All right? Avoid caffeine and stimulants. So you got stimulants like caffeine and all those drinks that you're drinking, Red Bull. Some of you are drinking Red Bull and Monster drinks and all of these Lucozades and, full of sugar and all of the aspartame and saccharin and these poisons. You just look up those names. Go look up on the back of your bottles and you can see aspartame and saccharin. These things are poison. It affects your nervous system and affects your whole blood system. You look at these things and these things affect the way you sleep, because if your oxygen is affected, your sleep is going to be affected and you become infected. So I want you to understand, stimulants like caffeine can keep you awake and throw off the natural balance between sleep and wakefulness. Everyone's different. But if you are having trouble sleeping, you should avoid caffeine after noon. Limit light before bed. In other words, all that artificial light. Some of us have this bad habit. I myself, I put my hands up. I put my hands up sometimes because I'm sending messages and I'm constantly in my education process of developing. Sometimes, I find myself disobeying the laws that is granted to me by God. And I suffer for it, so I have to kick myself back into it. And I'm often told off by close friends, very, very close people that are to me that looks out for my well-being. They're always telling me off for doing things that would impair my health. And I seek at all times to give heed to it, but sometimes I slip like we all do. But I'm encouraging you, try not to slip, but to stand tall. Stay away from all of these artificial lights, the cell phones and WhatsApp and WeChat and Snapchat. These things have, if you get a WhatsApp, you can look at it in the morning. You don't need to look at it right now. If some person called you in the night, unless it's an emergency, there's voicemail. Sometimes those relationship issues that you have, try to sort them out in the daytime. Don't try to be sorting stuff out at nighttime, because if you go to sleep with, issues from a relationship dysfunctionality, you ain't sleeping. And if you're not sleeping, you're messing with your circadian rhythm, which is also messing with all the functions of your body. I hope I'm making myself clear. So these things are very important. And, there's so many organizations out there talking about this, that if we would just stop for but a moment in our fast-paced life and take some time to look at this body that is created in the image of God, for the glory of God. We always walk around saying, my body, this is my temple. This is a temple. If it's a temple, why you not treat it like a trash can? Why are you treating it like if it's something that's so, you're abusing it like if it is nothing, and then you expect the doctor or some physician to drop you a quick pill or a quick injection and hoping that you're going to get up right again, when that injection or that pill is stacked with chemicals that throws your whole body in disarray. Your body says, hello, what's this? And then it starts to get all the side effects. And something that's supposed to be supposedly help you is making you worse. And this is because we have not taken time to look and value that which is being created. This is the great, you realize something? When the creator of the universe created this world, do you know that the most greatest part of that creation is you and I? Don't take my word for it. For those of you who read the Bible, go read it. And for those of you who don't, and you've been told don't read the Bible because it's all kind of reasons, you go read it for yourself. You can choose. You can choose to put it down afterwards, but you go read it for yourself. Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 2, and you can look at how we were made and why we were made. We were made in the image of God. We were God's grand masterpiece. We were created, beyond the sun and beyond everything else, but we were part of the package for the sun to help us. God created the spaces. He created the vegetation. He created the food for us. He created the landscape for us. He created the space for us. And then he created us and put us in that space. That's how much he loved us. And because of that, he gave us every single thing. Why do you hear it in the world today? Why do you hear it in the world today? We were created to take care of God's earth. We were created to take care of God's plants and the things that is vital for our food and our sustenance and our maintenance, and the herbs that is for healing of the nation. We were created to take care of that. And even when man failed to and fall short of his responsibilities and his accountability, the creator still had mercy to keep him on earth and put him outside to till the ground, which was part of his development, so that he can become strong and be restored again onto his rightful place. And I want you to understand, you and I is God's grand design. We are the masterpiece of that creation. And we're supposed to exemplify that in the way we live and breathe and move and have our being. And sadly, many of us do not take this seriously. We do not take this seriously. And some of us over excel in it, because we don't understand how it functions. So I'm hoping that in sharing some of this with you, that you can see that all of the stuff that you are doing has a serious impact on your life and your sustenance, your maintenance, your existence as a human being. And light, the sun, plays a vital role in this. As I said, I can't share everything with you about the sun. As this is only one presentation. I'm only one person. And I'm growing as I'm developing. I'm growing as I'm constantly studying. But I want you to understand that I'm sharing this with you because if I can do it, you can do it too. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be some person. On this information, we are living in an information age. And there's so many courses out there and that I will be able to share with you that you can go join, and that you can upgrade your knowledge and be certified in, and other bits and pieces that I will share with you as time goes on. But I want to encourage you, friends of mine out there that's listening. It is important that you understand that this body that we have is God's grand design. You are special. If you forgot anything that I said to you this afternoon, you are special. And God has made it his utmost thing that above all things that he wants you and I to prosper and be in health. So let's get through this some more. It said these steps to improve sleep hygiene can be an important part of supporting healthy circadian rhythms, but other steps may be necessary depending on the situation. If you have persistent or severe sleeping problems, daytime drowsiness, or problematic sleep schedule, it's important to talk with a doctor who can best diagnose the cause and offer the most appropriate treatment. So the doctors out there have their place. They can give you a diagnostic report, and then there are so many naturopaths out there and many doctors out there who are now studying naturopathy because they realize that there is a bigger thing beyond medicine. There's a bigger thing that is there. Hippocrates, he says, you know, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. The world is now turning back to what God had already said from the beginning, that we need to go back to nature. We need to go back to what he gave us from the beginning. You see it all over. You go on the Cancer Society, you go on the Heart Foundation, you go on all of these things, and they're telling you to come away from all of the meats and the dairies and all, and go back to the plants, go back to the herbs. But evidently right now, at this COVID-19, unfortunately, that is not what you're hearing from the government. This is not what you're hearing. You're hearing from other people to tell you to get out into the sun, get your sun, get your vitamin D so that your immune system can be strong, and get your nutrients in your body, get your rest right. You know, these are the things you will put outside back out of lockdown. And there's another presentation which we do called post-lockdown stress disorder. You know, when you're locked into a place in a dark room for so long, it causes so many situations. The suicide rate has gone high because of lack of light, in natural light. For many people, suicide has gone up high around the world because people have become mentally destabilized, and that has affected them in so many ways. That's another subject matter, post-lockdown stress disorder. And then when you're brought outside into the sudden array of sunlight after being locked down in, like if you're in a solitary confinement, and you get outside, man, you go run for what you can see. Like a plant, if you put a plant in the window and you put it in the dark, you see the plant bends like this. But the moment you put it in the sunlight, what happens to the plant? It moves to where the light is, and it begins to stretch itself up, because that plant needs the light for sustenance, for maintenance, for development. It needs it for growth. So that's what happens exactly with us. You're in lockdown, you get out, you run out there in the sun, and then all of a sudden you see all over television that is saying to you, you know what, we're going to give out tickets because people are going to raise the second wave. We're going to do this and do that. Friends of mine, we need to understand. And for those, if you listen very carefully, for those who are, you know, specialists in viruses, they will tell you that viruses do not really mutate in heat. It's in the cold weather, in the time when it's cold, and when the temperatures are down, that's when they tend to multiply like a bacteria. You put a bacteria in certain places and it mutates heavily in places that most times when it is cold. So these are some of the things that you're needing, why it's so important for us to have the sun. I don't know what happened to my screen here. Something is going wrong with my screen. I'm not getting my images up. Bear with me. And bear with me a moment. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You know, when you get into something as important as this, you find that technology then begins to do its own thing. Stay with me a little. Just trying to ascertain what's going wrong. Okay. There seems to be a immediate disruption. But that's okay. That's okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make sure that I send you the slides. What I was about to share with you at that particular point in time was the impact of sleep deprivation, and while we needed to sleep, and while we needed to rest. But I will leave that. I'm gonna come back to you right now, and I'll get back to the screen. Let me get back with you, and we're gonna spend some time not relying on technology. Let's rely on the word. Are we there? Are we still together? Are we all with me? One of the areas that we looked at very carefully while I'm talking to you and while we're still together is that we are seeing from the presentation that I shared thus far. We're seeing from the presentation that I shared thus far that sleep is very important. And the sun is very important. It is integral to our functionality. If we at any given point in time fail to adhere to getting sufficient sunlight and sufficient rest, it is told that we need to have at least 15 to 20 minutes of good sunlight at any given point in time. And it should not be in the time when the sun is at its hottest, because that would affect you. Those ultraviolet rays can also damage your skin. So we need to know when to be out into the sun. Sorry, the computer. Can you all still see me? Can you all still hear me? I'm having a total meltdown.
Yeah, we can still see and hear you.
Okay, I'm having a little meltdown here, but that's okay. Stay with me. I need a switch. Okay, here we go. I'm having a little. Share it from here. See if I can get this up. Share screen. Can you see that? Can you all see that? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, these are some of the slides that I just want to share in closing. Tired of being tired. Tired of being tired. Many of us, as I said, because of lack of light, proper light, and because of the lack of nutrients and rest, we're finding that we are not sleeping properly. But this is the hours of sleep. 1925, 8 to 9 hours for teenagers. 7 hours today, and that's for those who are good. But at most teenagers today do not get 7 hours sleep. If those who are out there listening, if it's any teenagers or any mothers out here who have teenagers, you know most of your children do not sleep for 7 hours. And they're not sleeping when they're supposed to be sleeping. The time that you were supposed to expect them to be doing the dishes in the kitchen for breakfast, that's the time where they're sleeping. They don't even reach breakfast in the morning. That they're sleeping because they're being on that phone all night, talking to such strange friends, their so-called fam that is out there. They've been talking to those people at night, or some strange girlfriend or boyfriend in the night hour. And not just them. This is what the teenagers we're looking at right now, 7 hours a day. No, they do not get that. They get 5 hours, sometimes 3 at nighttime. Accumulation of sleep loss. I want to share this with you so that you can understand how serious this is to your physiology and your anatomy. Accumulation of sleep loss, 1 hour a day, 7 hours a week, one entire night is lost. 1 hour a day, 7 hours a week, that's an entire night is gone. Effects of sleep deprivation, decreased endurance. You all feel that. When you don't sleep well, you find that your get up and go is get up and gone. It's not there anymore. Decreased endurance. What about this one? Weakened immune system. You don't find that your pep in your step is not there anymore. It's because your whole anatomy is impaired. Decreased efficiency. You look at that very carefully. You're seeing your mental efficiency is gone. You're cloudy. Your things that you will remember yesterday, you don't remember in the last couple of minutes. Somebody asked you to go, so could you move that? Yeah, and then suddenly it is not there. Are we aware. We are seeing these things. We are experiencing things. I've gone through this. General slowing of mental processes, difficulty in concentrating. Short-term memory is most affected. Even our moods are affected. You notice when you're sleeping. Some of you all, if you don't sleep, you become like one of those lions in a cage that has been locked in for so long. You start snapping at the children, snapping at your wives or your family members. You know, mothers will start to show the rolling pin at you because she didn't sleep good last night. Dad got on her nerves and he was carrying on, arguing in the nighttime when he was supposed to be sleeping. So she didn't sleep too well, and she get up in the morning, come down and make breakfast, and you just say something, and all of a sudden the rolling pin come flying across the room, and you go, what did I do? Sleep, affecting your moods, affecting the moods. Irritability increases significantly. Highest mental functions compromised. Your learning, your reasoning, your safety, your efficiency, your communication skills, relationships is affected. You notice when you haven't slept properly, you're suddenly crossing the road. And for many of you, you haven't slept in the night. You've been on that cell phone. And then when you're crossing the road, you're already tired, you're already fatigued, and you're trying to cross the road with a cell phone in your hands. And you're not at a pelican crossing. You're not at a zebra crossing. You're trying to cross the road. And want to know why you got hit? And praise God that you're still alive. Because sleep deprivation, you have not been getting enough time. And so on. Causes of sleep deprivation: television and internet surfing, entertainment and sports. You know, you're watching that NFL game, that NBA game, and your soccer game. You're out there in the late of the night. Overwork and night shift work, stress and anxiety, noisy environments, use of medication, sedentary lifestyle. I remember while on a mission in India, at the moment I'm only down because of the COVID lockdown, and India is rife right now. For those of my Indian brethren that's online with us, you know, they're going through a terrible time in India and in Lebanon and other places. While many of you are complaining about just being shut in for a few minutes, some of these are shut out of state. You can't move from one state to the next state without being quarantined. Right now, we can move around. Most of you can move around in your places in London and other places. You move around, but in India, you move from Mumbai to the next state up, you have to be quarantined in certain places, and there's so many, you know, challenges with that. You know, but that noise in those environments, you know, that noise that you're hearing when you're supposed to be sleeping. I remember when I was in India and also in South America and other places, you hear the taxis on. Back in New York City, you hear the cabs right in the nighttime, beep, 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 and you're trying to sleep, you can't sleep, and the honking of the horns all night. And people shouting on the street, you know, that noisy environment affects your sleep. And to get you have to learn a pattern to fall asleep in the noise, you know, like you learn how to fall asleep in the rain. The rain is very therapeutic. You learn how to fall asleep in noise, and you sleep good eventually. But noisy environments has an impact on your sleep and on your mind. Is there spiritual impact to sleep loss? Is there spiritual impact to sleep loss? If you can't think straight, if you cannot function straight, if your brain is not straight, remember I told you the other week, you need to guard the avenues of your hard drive. If you don't guard the avenues of your hard drive, if you're not sleeping properly, spiritually, which is one of the largest parts of us, then we're not hearing what the voice of God is actually saying to us as people, how to function, what he's saying to us to do the next day. Our prayers, we find that our prayers seem, you know, unanswered. There's so many things that we need to look at. But as I close tonight, I want to close leaving you to go and look up what happens when your reasoning is impaired. For right or wrong, when you don't have sleep, how does that impair your judgment in making right decisions? How does that impair you in your functionality of taking the right information in and using it effectively for your well-being? When you realize how serious that is, for those who drink coffee or who go and have a little wine for the stomach's sake, as they would say, many of you all have your Dragon Stout. I'm just naming some of those drinks out there. You know, Johnny Walker, J. Ray and his nephew. You know, J. Ray always got a nephew. Some of y'all are taking other things that are out there, because I'm speaking to a wide audience that's on the screen today. But you're not getting yourself outside in the sunlight. You're not taking the nutrients in your body. You're not even taking care of your body. You're not even understanding how these things and these roles play the vital importance to your whole immune system. If you don't understand this, your reasoning from the brain, remember the hard drive, that's the hard drive, the human anatomy, the brain. If that's not a functioning straight, if you're not getting everything in to feed that and nourish that properly, your reasoning becomes impaired and you make wrong decisions that you regret for your lifetime. When you're in a hurry, fast-paced mentality, all of these things have a serious impact. Sleep deprivation and brainwashing. If you're not reasoning properly, you're taking all kind of things and all kind of strange spirits that is not welcoming into your body. Friends of mine, I hope you understand just from the sun alone, just dealing with the circadian rhythm, there's some things that we need to realize is impacting us, affecting us personally, affecting our families, affecting our lives. I want to leave you again with, as I close, with a passage of scripture. Go with me to take your Bibles again with me and go with me to Ecclesiastes. Chapter 5, verse 12. Ecclesiastes. Chapter 5, verse 12. And anybody who finds it, if you can be so kind to read it for us, unmute yourself and just read it. Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 12. Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 12. Ecclesiastes, the 5th chapter, verse 12. What does it tell us there? Okay, I'll read it if nobody has it. It says, "The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep." Interesting, is it not? It says, "The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep." The sun is there for a reason. It has its purposes in so many different reasons, so many different ways. I've only just scratched the surface. I haven't even begun to expose or expel anything. For those, when we come for the next session, when I have some of the medical doctors that will be with me that specializes in neurology, etc., they'll be able to get even deeper in terms of the serotonin and the cortisol levels. It'll even get even deeper at explaining how it really impacts. But I hope that, as you can understand, our bodies was created for ordained purpose, and God has put everything in place that we function effectively, and the sun plays a very integral part in the functionality of every single organ in our body and the existence of everything on planet Earth. So before I close, I will leave you with my last passage of scripture. My last passage of scripture, which I always love very much. My grandmother always kept us with me. I know it by heart, but I want you all to read it. And I read it last time, I believe, but I want you to read it again. Talking about taking counsel, wise counsel. The Bible says, "Blessed is the man," that's Psalm chapter 1, "that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth on the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in it does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in the season. His leaves also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." If you notice, when the sun is on us, we grow and we develop. And so when the sun of righteousness is on us, we grow and develop. I want you to understand, he who created the sun, he who created us, has given us the opportunity to ask us to follow his counsel. Not the counsel of the world, but follow his counsel. You want to know how to live, their laws on environmental laws. It's all in the Bible. This book that they're telling you don't read. You notice they shut your churches, they shut your synagogues, they shut your mosques, they shut all of the places of worship so you can't read your books. that will tell you how to live. And most of these books, you know, the Quran and all of these other books back then, for those who are Muslims, those who are Hindus, those who are listening, in the Bhagavad Gita, most of these have environmental laws that are there. The Bible is very strategic above all. That shares something that's very important, and it's interconnected. That's why you can dialogue with our brethren from different faiths, because, you know, God has made it such that we cannot deny what's around us. So we have a common connection. We have a common understanding. When we look at nature, it declares that there's somebody more superior. And when we look at our own selves, and the doctors look at us, they know that there's something more superior than they are and what they can learn in medical school. And it's all that I've learned from my side in the BIBLE, basic instruction before leaving Earth. But I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen, taking the time to invite me again to share with you. And I hope that you have gathered something from the study. And as I said, the slides, I will amend them and make sure that they're with you again. Like last time when I was here, I sent it out to you. I hope that you all will be able to receive this in good stead. But above all things, be of good health. And God bless you all. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen as I hand back over the screen this afternoon.
Thank you, Alvin.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, Brother McQueen.
Can I be excused for a moment to get some coconut water? Is that okay?
Of course you may. Of course you may. Okay, so I'm not sure that we'll be able to take questions. It depends on whether or not Alvin is able to recover from his cough soon enough. Obviously, he will recover. I declare that. But yes, thank you for the reminder that you've given to us about sunlight and its links to rest via the circadian rhythm, and how air, nutrition, rest, okay, the 8 doctors we're going through, air, nutrition, rest, sunshine, exercise, water, temperance, and trust in God, they're all interlinked into making us and to live the optimum life that God wants us to live, and so that we can be of use to ourselves and to our communities. So thank you so much. Just to let others know who are still on here that we do have a challenge for this week. I can ask Edgar to come in and remind us of the challenge, but before that, next week, our speaker is Dr. Jackson. He came on a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Thomas Jackson from Meat Ministries. That's not meat as in the flesh, but meat as in missionary education and evangelistic training. So we've got Dr. Jackson coming on next week, who's a hygienic practitioner and preventative medicine with over 25 years of experience teaching and sharing the benefits of a healthy lifestyle, habits and practice. So we have so much more to come back to, but are you okay, Brother McQueen? Can anybody unmute and ask you a question?
Yes, sure, by all means. By all means.
Time for maybe 2 questions, and then we'll recap over the challenge for the coming week. Thank you.
Okay, and for those of you who have questions that you're not able to ask, please submit it to the platform. Edwards, Pastor Sterling, it's good to see you. You was hiding in the shadows. It is good to see you. But yeah, please, each and every one of you who have questions,
yes, nice to see you,
and not able to project on this meeting, please put it in the chat room to the team. They'll be able to get it to me, I hope, as soon as possible, and then I'll be able to attend. I like to make sure that I try to the best of my ability to answer everything that I'm accountable for. So I hope that if any person in the chat room have any questions, you can please submit that to the group and I'll answer it on email. Please leave your email address and I'll be most happy to attend to your to your needs. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Okay, just raise your hand, or just show by raising your hands if you have a question.
We do have a question in the chat, Sharon, and the question is, how long should an adult sleep?
How long should an adult sleep? Well, 8 to 9 hours is good, 7 base minimum.
What about short sleepers?
What about short sleepers?
Yes.
Short sleepers, you see when they sleep short, they have problems in terms of their functionality, because the most of your day is used for strenuous work or strenuous activity. And as we said, and again, the short sleep that you're having, especially if you're having it at the nighttime where you're supposed to really be resting for that time, and you're getting up early to just hammer out a heavy day, that ain't gonna last long. Have you ever tried to take a car out of the parking lot with sufficient fuel in the tank? It will run for a certain period for the day, but then it needs to get some refueling and get some sustenance in order to get you back to this journey. Otherwise, if it's left there for too long, it starts to break and start having calibrations in various parts of its body parts. So the same thing with the human anatomy. We need to make sure that we are sleeping, resting. We're given that time for a reason. Sleep, sleep, because you need to repair so you can function. So short sleepers, as I said, for those who are listening, is not a good thing.
Okay, thank you very much for that. That was clear. So just a reminder, we need to expose. It's no good getting outside in the sun and you're all covered up. So remember to expose those limbs and your face to the rays of the sun, and then the sun can do its work and work through your skin, providing the vitamin D that's so relevant to us now in these times of coronavirus. Or any other ailments, to be honest. Yeah, whatever your ailments. One other question here. How long before bed should we stop watching the media or device? How long before bed should we stop watching the media or any other device that we have?
I would encourage at least, and I'm saying, and I'm guilty, as I said, I have to be totally honest with you all, but I'm sharing you what science have said, and those who in the naturopathy world and so forth telling us, right about now, at least 2 hours before. And the reason why I'm saying at least 2 hours before is because most of the time when we pick up that phone, the last thing we go to bed with some person that is saying something to you or something that you've just watched that is stimulating your mind, that has caused you. It could be some movie you've watched, or it could be some message you got from a friend that you have been close to, and you had a falling out, and they've just sent you a message that has upset your equilibrium, and you've gone to bed with that on your head and you can't sleep. So if you have at least 2 hours to deal with that situation and be able to rectify that, I would encourage, try to leave your social media or your media devices at least 2 hours and try to do something more relaxing, more recreational, more brain, to bring the brain down for all of the stuff that's going on in the day. So when you climb into bed, and the only thing you want to do is sleep. If it was anything like me, I lay into bed and my body's laying down, but my head is racing. That's not sleep. You need to be sleeping. Your head must be sleeping. Everything in here must stop. So 2 hours before, preferably, try to come away from your devices, and also leave your devices outside of your room. I'm also guilty at times where my cell phone is in my bedroom. Try to leave your devices outside of your bedroom. It's a negative habit that we picked up because you've got also the radiation from the 5G networks and all this stuff that is now plummeting our system. That's another subject matter. And those devices in your room, it also affects your metabolic state. So try to keep your cell phone outside in the passage or someplace else. Like in the old times, remember our phones was downstairs. If somebody called, you would get us to bed and run downstairs for Try to keep your phone outside. If it is something important, they will keep ringing and you will know to get up and go look at it. But try not to keep it in your room, because while it's in your room, if it's anything like mine, you got, my cell phone go to over 70,000 people worldwide with WhatsApps every single day on trade abortions and stuff. And you hear ping, 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 ping. India's a different time zone. Africa's a different time zone. So everybody's coming in when they're waking up. I'm supposed to be sleeping. So keep it outside of your room. 2 hours is what I would recommend. 2 hours, by the grace of God. You can deal with all the issues that you had, etc. I hope I didn't take too long with that answer.
No, that's fine. That's something that probably almost all of us need advice with. And it's hard for a physician to take his own medicine, but hey, sometimes we got to do that too. Okay, I see one hand, and I think this will be the last point. Loretta, would you like to, Lorette, would you like to unmute?
Yeah, hiya. I just want to say really thank you very much for all. I mean, I've not been a part of this group for, I think it's been the last 2 weeks when I joined this group. So I really this lecture today. The thing is, I was just wondering, I'm just listening to you talking about the sleeping, I don't know.
Sleep pattern, the circadian rhythm.
Mine is absolutely, it's not good at all. My body's not in any routine when it comes to sleep. I just drop to sleep anyway. But I've just had a diagnosed with overactive thyroid again. And I'm just wondering, I wonder if it's bad sleep pattern that's caused it. And the doctor wants to put me on some sort of, for a year, or he's advised me to have my thyroid glands out. And I was just, I'm due to have a conversation with him again on Monday to confirm what procedure I want to go with, whether I have it out or go on medication. And I'm just wondering, I mean, the question is, do you think it could be due to sleep with this side? Because that was mentioned in one of your, in your lecture. And I'm just thinking, I wonder if it's sleep deprivation or the fact that my body's not in a routine with sleep that's caused the overactive thyroid.
Due to the that's a medical situation,
yeah.
And due to the code of conduct on this line, what I would suggest is that you submit your name to the team and your email, and I would like to correspond with you offline better to be able to direct you to various medical organizations that deal specifically with the thyroid gland and thyroid dysfunctionality. These are top naturopathic doctors in the world, and there are various platforms that they're doing stuff with things like that. So what I would encourage you to do, as I said, because of the code of conduct on Zoom of not giving up those kind of advice, I would encourage you to just pass your name to the team and your details, and I would be gladly willing to get back to you so that you will be able to have the proper advice from those who specialize in that vicinity. I hope that I answer your question effectively.
Yeah, because I'm looking at alternative solution to this rather than going down that.
Yes, and there is solutions out there. As I said, you first need to diagnose the problem, and I said, in the medical field, many people they're quick to cut and chop and dissect and take out things that they're not supposed to move, and so forth, etc., without understanding. And this is why it's so important for us to understand our physiology and anatomy. So, as I said, though, again, which I'll reiterate in this in this video, is that that's a medical situation, and I'm not in a place under the code of conduct to give advice on that. But if you can submit your details, and I will direct you to the people that handles that specifically, so you get the best advice. And by the grace of God, you won't have to chop or cut anything at all. You will be put on something that they will be able to lead you into a path, which means you may have to go through weeks of a transition, but it's better to have weeks of transition and keep everything that it needs to be stayed in your body. And also do your homework. Go look up what the purpose of the thyroid gland is. The thyroid have a serious functionality. Go and look up the stuff. Don't just go, hey, oh, well, I'm going to cut it out. Know what it stands for. Go look it up. And when you begin to learn what your body organs and functionalities are, you will realize that, hello, no, I can't cut that, because if I did this is what's going to happen. So do your homework in the meantime, but submit your name, and I will get everything to you to the best of my ability by God's grace. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you for the question. It's always good to have an informed choice when you're making irreversible decisions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask Edgar just to recap, because there may be some people that have just joined us and missed the beginning. So the challenge for this week, Edgar?
Hello. Good afternoon again. The challenge is going in line with the topic of today, which is sunlight. So what I'm suggesting is that every day this week, you get 20 to 30 minutes of sunlight. Expose your arms, your legs, and so on. Also, don't overdo it.
Yes.
We're practicing temperance. So we don't want people to come back to us and say, yeah, I did the challenge and I got sunburned. That's not that's not the idea of the challenge. And also, it's important that Black people, because of their skin, it's harder for the sun to penetrate. Yeah. So 20 minutes. I wouldn't necessarily recommend to say do that at the hottest time of the sun.
No.
That can cause problems as well. But as Alvin has said, there's so many benefits to receiving the sun. Without sun, there would be no life. And so God has given us this for a reason. And even just, I mentioned before that just a couple of things that I said before was it can help with your blood pressure, it can help with your blood sugar, it definitely can help with your mood and a feeling of well-being. It can lower your cholesterol, but it definitely can improve your white blood cells, the defense of the body. So my suggestion is, especially like how it is at the moment, pull back the curtains, open the window, let the sun come in, and you know, it's bound to improve your health. So that's the challenge. Every day, 20 minutes, gets 20 minutes of sunshine. You can combine it by going outside, of course, do some exercise, go for a walk, do some gardening. So you're also gonna add to it. So not only are you gonna get the sunshine, but you're also gonna add one of the other doctors of exercise or air to make that benefit that much more. Back to you, Sharon.
One moment, Sharon. I saw a lady by the name of Tracy, I believe, while Edgar was speaking. A lady by the name of Tracy put her cell phone number in the chat. I was not able to capture that. She was moving too fast for me. So I hope you all have that in the chat. So if you can also grab that. She needed a question that she wanted to ask me. So if you can also find that, I was not able to capture it. She was moving too fast. It just came up. I saw the cell phone number and it was gone. So yeah.
Tracy, I think you may have sent that directly to Alvin because it's not on the general chat. So if you want to send it to me, that's fine. Sharon, what do I come up as on participants? I come up as Sharon Wallace. That's who I am, of course. So yeah, so if you wish to send it to me, that's fine. I'll be on the platform for a little while longer once everybody's gone.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much, Tracy. So thank you everybody for tuning in for another week of our family health show on True Temperance International, TTI. Have a wonderful week, everybody. A big thank you again to our guest presenter, Alvin McQueen, and to all of you who participated, even if you've just been listening, you know, you're still a participant, so we really appreciate you coming in. And we look forward to hearing your testimonies next week for how you've been. It's my birthday next week.
Happy
Okay,
birthday.
but I'll still, thank you. Thank you. But I'll still be, oh, you can't see me from that angle. I'll still be around to, I can't miss it. Can't miss it at all. So have a wonderful week and I see you next week. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll ask the admin team to stay on, or you will anyway. So thank you, David Livingston, for joining us.
Thank you.
And Angela, everybody.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you all for having me. I'll see you all again soon.
Thank you, Alvin.
My pleasure.
While we're still on here, Natalia, you said you were going to take a photo of your salad. Did you manage to get that? If not, if it's already gone, it did look good. If it's already gone, and hopefully you managed to get that picture before everybody tucked in, then we'll share that on the WhatsApp group. And perhaps you could tell us a bit more about what ingredients went into it and the benefits of the different elements to your salad. Okay, so goodbye everybody, thank you for joining us and we'll see you again. Okay, I've seen another number, right, Thank you for the birthday wish.
Just while everyone leaving as well, Sharon, if anyone interested, joining us for the first time and are interested in joining the men's or the women WhatsApp group, if they do leave their number, we could add them.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, I'll reiterate that comment. Please leave your number and we can add you to the group, and we'll encourage you throughout the week as you take on the challenges of a healthy lifestyle. And it's a challenge worth taking on. We're all growing together. None of us are have got it perfected. Well, there may be somebody, but I certainly haven't. There's always somewhere where we can improve. So we'll be more than happy to have you.
How do you have your number?
Okay, who's speaking?
I am on the Alcatel, Melvina.
Okay, is it Melvina? If you wish to send me a direct message on the chat, then I'll just do a screen snapshot. I'll have your number and then I'll add you to the group. That's not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you, Renika. Yeah, you're very generous. With your compliments.
So I've just put the link for the men WhatsApp chat inside the chat. So anyone who want to join or want to recommend someone, they're more than welcome.
You do that for the women's as well.
Unfortunately, Sharon, I can't do it because I'm not on there.
I can do it. Thank you, Shirley. So I'll do it. You have to show me how to do that.
Oh,
if there's any, this is to the admin team, if there's anyone that's on here, that was on here, that's going to be a bit too late to see the WhatsApp invitation, so long as they've left their number, they'll come into the group. The only thing is I can't tell if they're male or female. Well, from the names, I can generally
Aaron,
tell.
I think Shirley just sent you that
Actually, no,
that
yeah.
link.
She sent it to me.
Yeah, she just sent it to you on WhatsApp.
Okay.
I think we must remember to do it earlier next week, Sharon.
Yeah. Someone's enjoying their dinner. I can hear the knife and fork talking.
It's not me. Oh, it's somewhere around here though.
Working on it, but not, he's not tucking in yet. Plus he's on mute, so it's not him. Renika, I'm trying to send you a message, but for some reason it's not allowing me to go. Can you just message me what your area code is, please? What country you're in? Oh, she's gone. I'll find out. Jonathan, can you just send a message to the waiting room, please, to let the person know that the meeting's over?
Okay, I will do.
Thank you. Brother Hines, we love having, oops, yeah, I'm still on. Brother Hines, we love having your presence with us, but just to let you know that the show is over, so you are free to go and participate in some of that in the challenge and start from getting some of the sunshine now before it all disappears for today. Thank you for joining us. You're one of our faithful listeners. And Aisha, I'm not sure whose phone that is. Well, obviously it's Aisha's phone, but I'm not sure if you're in the admin. Marie, you obviously know. Okay. That's cool, Marie. Okay, Aisha and Brother Hines, we're going to put you back into the waiting room so we can just wrap up and have our lunch. Thank you. I don't like doing that. I don't like taking people off because you kind of feel like they want the company, but it's finished. Did that message go in the chat in the waiting room as well, Jonathan?
Yes, I did, Sharon. Yes. They're probably even not at their devices because I was trying to speak to Brother Hines, but couldn't get through to him. So I think it's just us here now.
It is. It is.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi,
Okay,
Sister Marie.
Is YouTube switched off?
Oh, no. I'm going to do that now.